Hello, just wanted to do a short video about my journey so far in learning Kiswahili. I've been studying probably almost 3 months now. I came across a channel of another YouTuber, this channel here, and he was posting about his journey to Swahili. It's like he had started this sometime last year, I guess when the COVID hit. But he has a number of videos that he put together, just
Hello everyone.
documenting his journey. I think every 2-3 months or something like this. So this kind of I was really excited to find his channel because there's not a whole lot of other videos or channels on there about people actually learning Swahili. You'll find a lot of people studying Spanish and French and German and some of the other more popular languages, but not Swahili. So I started off with this book called Kiswahili kwa Kitendo, an introductory and intermediate course. Yeah, I really like this book because it has, I'll show you some pictures of some of the chapters in there, but it also comes with some online audio that you can download. So there's 40 units or chapters in the textbook basically. So I'm on chapter 11 right now. So you can see there's a lot of different audio files, at least 10 or more. So there's, I guess, a dialogue, mazungumzo, that they read it and they normally repeat it a little bit slower. Maybe have another one, and then the mazoezi, the exercises. So there's always a number of exercises. This chapter has 8, some have 8, 7, but roughly around that number. And there was a later edition of the book, so they have the mazungumzo or conversations from that as well, and then vocabulary. So each unit or chapter is like this, so there's a lot of material to absorb every time you go through each chapter. So this is really nice, and the audio is free. You have to buy the book. Like here, you can find the book on Amazon, and since there's 40 chapters and the book is pretty long, so it's really, I think it's for introductory and intermediate level Swahili. And there's also a workbook that goes with it that I bought that's pretty helpful too. And I've been using this Swahili dictionary hard copy. Yeah, this is really good. I really like this dictionary, so I would recommend that as well. Swahili English, English Swahili, Hippocrene Practical Dictionary. So those are like two of the main resources that I've been using. So it's been working pretty well. And so just a little background, I studied Spanish in high school for like 4 years, took a couple classes in college, but like most people, I couldn't speak, and you'll find that in a lot of videos of people on YouTube. I also studied Japanese for a number of years, probably too many to mention. It's a little embarrassing. I think I got to an intermediate level. I could read fairly well. I still needed a dictionary, but my speaking ability was really poor because I never practiced that. So I started off taking classes at the Japan-America Society, typical classroom study. Studied for the class, but really didn't study as much as I probably should have outside of class. So I studied Japanese off and on for, 7-8 years. But number of years were off, and I started back again. So I'm trying a different approach this time with the Swahili. I'm going through the textbook, but I'm trying to do more of an immersive approach. I'm not worrying about grammar at all. I guess I'm just reading the lessons, and as the grammar points come up, I start looking into them in some grammar books, but I'm not going out of my way to learn the grammar. So it's more of like an immersive type approach, and it's been working pretty well, I think. So that's what I've been using for the textbook and the dictionary. Then I found some other sites that I really like for like some supplementary reading. Oh, I guess you all probably know about Google Translate, but Google Translate is definitely your friend. It doesn't always translate everything 100% accurately, but it really helps a lot. So here's just, I found some text on a video I found on YouTube that I stuck in here, and it's translated what it's talking about. It's kind of interesting. This video is an animated video, but it's actually about 2 girls named Gati and Robi trying to draw awareness to female genital mutilation. And of course, this video is a little beyond my level. I can catch the words and maybe sentences, but it's still good practice. That's Google Translate. So here's a neat website. So between that Kiswahili kwa Kitendo, the textbook, and this site called ReadLang. And so this is a website that was developed for different languages. So see here I'm learning Kiswahili, but there you can find it for different languages, a lot of the major languages here. But they have already texts that are loaded. You can also do the My Text and add text and create your own readings that you go through. But the neat thing about this website, let's see, I'll go to Somo la Saba, Day 7 reading. It'll pull up the text, and as you're reading through it, you can mouse over the words, and if you click it, it'll give you the meaning of that word, or you can mouse over several words and it'll give you the meaning of those words, or probably do a whole sentence. I think you're limited up to 12 words. So this has been really, really helpful. You don't have any spend time searching through a hard copy dictionary. It makes quick reading a lot easier. But I'm up to, actually gotten up to number 9, but you learn just by reading. You pick up a lot of grammar just by doing this. A lot of the words repeat. So this is just talking about John Nikijana mwenye umri wa miaka 16. So John is a young person who's kumi na sita, 16 years old, and he's the son of Mzee Robert and Safina, or Mr. Robert and Safina. Soma shule ya sekondari ya Tambaza. So I can pretty much read and understand the majority of this, after studying for 3 months. So I think it's not too bad. And I think, I'm not sure if these are actually graded by levels, but they have seemed to be getting a little more difficult as I go along. At least for Swahili, there's 40 of these Somo la Tisa, Somo la Kumi na Mbili. That just means 12. But then, total there's, you can see down here, 1 of 20, 40. So there's 46 different stories you can read. I'm sure other languages have a whole lot more, but this has been really helpful. So as part of that immersive approach, and I've watched tons of videos on YouTube from people, who learn languages, and we're talking about how they did it. And I think the key is to listen and read, because what I'm finding is my limiting factor is vocabulary. So I think I can parse out the words now for the most part, as long as the spoken language isn't too fast, but my vocabulary is still limited, so I miss a lot. So I think from what I've read from different people like Steve Kaufman and others, that the key is just listening a whole lot and reading. I've watched some videos from Matt versus Japan, who's became fluent in Japan pretty much by living in the U.S., but he did all Japanese all the time. Basically, that's all he did, and he had some pretty good tips that I'm trying to use as well. Yes, I bought a little small MP3 player, loaded up some dialogues on there, and say if I go to the store, go outside walking, I'll listen to that. This is like something I never did trying to study Japanese, so I'm just trying to make it more of a normal part of my everyday life, trying to work that around having a full-time job as well. And the neat thing about this ReadLang site, I guess they have the word list of the words that you click on, but it also has a built-in flashcard program, and this is a space repetition system. So it'll quiz you on what these things mean. John Alijiba, Kwamba. And so I guess you can check it and then say if you got it yes or no. I'll just say yes for now. So the same thing. So definitely this, again, with the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook and the dictionary has been helpful, and the Google Translate are really the main things that I've been using. And I guess for Kiswahili, I started early using some tutors on italki. So I started this about a month ago. So I've been studying about 2 months, and then started meeting with some tutors. And I guess it's kind of helpful since I'm self-studying through this textbook. If I run into any questions, I can just meet with the tutor and ask them questions, and that's been working really well. And I've also been trying to speak now. I can say basic things. I'm doing that a lot earlier than I did with Japanese. So just trying to do a totally different approach than I did with other languages that I've tried to learn in the past. And so with the Google Translate, if you look up words, you can star them and save them, and then it creates a list, and you can save that. So I saved it into an Excel file and actually a text file. And so I've been using this app on my iPad called Flashcards Deluxe. I'm not using Anki, but this has a spaced repetition and lightener function as well, so it's similar. So I try to go through the flashcards like in the morning when I wake up, or a little bit later in the day. So with that, copying the vocabulary and some sentences from the textbook and from some of the stories, or from my meetings with the italki teachers, I'll create the flashcards for that. This is a really good online dictionary, but this has some example sentences for words that you look up. So here was a word I was looking up, mwenye, who's one of the readings that you saw earlier. So I've been using that, and so I've been trying to do also some other extra listening practice, because again, like I said, there's a number of audio files that go with the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook that I'm listening to, but listening to dialogues and practice exercises gets old after a while. You just want to listen to some ongoing dialogue, maybe for 5-10 minutes, and see what you could pick up. So I've been trying to find different things to listen to on YouTube. So here's like a preschool video called Akili and Me. And so there's some in Kiswahili.
Kiwi kugusa ardhi. Oh! Ground! No ground!
So I had that set on, I guess, 0.75, because I was trying to pick out some words. So I can listen to this and pick out words, and sometimes pick up whole sentences and things, but then I'll get lost for a little while and pick back up. So again, the limiting factor is my vocabulary, and yeah, it's a little humbling, because this is these videos like for, I think, preschoolers or young kids, and they can understand more than I can, but I've been studying it for 3 months.
Let's play! Akili anapenda kwenda La La Land.
Akili anapenda kwenda La La Land. Akili likes going to La La Land, so it's pretty entertaining. So there's some English in here, because I think it's also for children trying to learn English. But, if you watched other videos of people learning languages, one of the things they recommend is trying to find videos with subtitles in the target language. So for this would be Kiswahili. But there's not a whole lot of that out there. I know there's a lot more like for French and Spanish and other languages like that. So, but I did find there's an English version of the same video. So I've been watching parts of that, and that's been helping to understand the parts in Kiswahili that I'm missing. And I guess there's this young lady, I guess, that lived in Japan. She came back. She lives in England. But she was putting up some vlogs for a while, which have been really helpful as well, because she has the English translations.
Kupunguza mwendo, kupumzika, kuwa pamoja na familia. Kitu kimoja ambacho ni.
So I mean, she's not a native speaker, but her Swahili ability seems fairly good, at least a lot better than mine. So I guess I've been trying to listen to this as well. So just definitely having at least the English subtitles, or if you could find some with the Kiswahili subtitles when you're learning, definitely helps a lot. Because like I said, I'm going to miss words because I just don't know the vocabulary, and this helps you pick out words that you missed. So this is kind of what I've been using. So with the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook, doing some readings from the ReadLang site, trying to watch these videos and basically for listening comprehension practice. There's some other ones that I found, but they were beyond my level. So it wasn't working out quite as well, but maybe I'll do another video on those as I move up. I'll probably try to watch some of those as well. So let's see. And then I guess if I do run into some questions for grammar, like I said, I'll ask my italki teachers, but here's a book that's I found that's really good. Swahili Grammar for Introductory and Intermediate Levels. So the nice thing about this is you can find a PDF online of this same book. Just Google Swahili Grammar PDF, and this will come up with some other grammar dictionaries that you can find. So I'll use this in another website that's helpful for the grammar is a website here. I think this is Kansas University of Kansas has a nice Swahili website for grammar. So you can click these lessons and it'll come up with a PDF you can download of that grammar point. So this is days of the week. So this is really good. So these two I've been using a lot. The reason I really like this Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook is I'll show you an example. So here's a printout of the first parts of the book. So it lists the different 40 chapters and the titles of what you're going to learn. But then they have a separate point of the different grammar points that are introduced in each lesson. So I've gone through 1 through 10. I'm on 11 now, where we're talking about the future tense marker, the ta marker. And so it just shows you the different grammar points are going to be talked here. 13, the who habitual marker. There's a verbal marker for the me. In Swahili, there's a lot of prefixes, I'll call them, that you add to the beginning of words that help you understand if it's the future tense, past tense, present perfect tense. There's a habitual tense, things like that. There's verbal markers for pronouns and things like that. There's different noun classes. So it's I guess, subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object language. Yeah, if I got that right. It's similar to English. One thing I found a little more difficult with Japanese was it's a subject, object, verb, with the verb coming in the end, and I just found that a little harder to listen and understand. But here's some more of the grammar points. And then, so here's an example of, say, this is from chapter 8, Somolanani Hikininiri, what is this? So each chapter will normally have a mazungumzo, like a conversation or dialogue between two or more people. And they have some other readings that they put in here, so you get some reading practice. And this is so soma means to read, sema means to say or speak, ina kitabu, kiribiti. And here's kind of some other, so a bunch of exercises that you can go and practice. And here's just some other exercises again on the second page, and some of the audio will go through these. So there's a lot of practice you get in each chapter. And there's a vocabulary list of what the vocabulary in that lesson. And so there is some parts of the textbook that are in English. It's normally at the back, just describing the grammar points that are introduced in that lesson, but it's actually limited. This is actually a lot more than in some other chapters, which is what I kind of like. So you're actually kind of being immersed in this textbook with the majority of it in Kiswahili. So I haven't found that to be a problem at all. And you just start kind of picking things up as you read through it and listen. But here they're introducing some of the noun classes, the Kiwi noun class, the NN noun class. So they have different grammar points like this. So that's one of the reasons why I really like this book. I guess another book I was looking to use is this book called Colloquial Swahili. And so you can actually find a free PDF version of this book online as well. Just Google Colloquial Swahili. But as you can see, like most textbooks, they have opening dialogue but then in vocabulary, but then they have a bunch of English, which if you like that, this may be a better choice for you. But I like the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo with the limited English explanations, just the major points, because I seem to be able to be picking up the grammar points as I read it. It hasn't been really a huge problem, but this has a lot of English, more English maybe in each chapter than Swahili. So if this appeals to you, then go for it. I've just been really liking the kind of minimal approach with the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook that I showed you. So I highly recommend it, and something at least you can check out and see if that's for you or not. Here's a website where you can actually download the audio for that colloquial Swahili textbook that's online for free. So you got free audio if you wanted to use that textbook. And also I've been trying to learn by looking at pictures and telling a story. And I think that's really been working very well as also. Basically the whole concept was, he records himself trying to describe something he's read or a topic, and you videotape yourself doing that. So you're going to find the first time you do it, it's going to be really painful to watch because you're going to be fumbling for words, pausing a lot. But you watch the video, make the notes about the mistakes you made, and then you're going to redo the video again. And the next time you're going to get a little more fluid and a little more quick in talking. So after you do this a couple times, you're going to find out that you've gotten a lot better with it. And I can definitely say that's the case. So maybe I'll try to do that with you since I'm talking about it. All right, so here's like the exercise that the YouTuber who's learning French talked about. I guess it doesn't have to be a picture. It could be a picture. This was actually in the Kiswahili kwa Kitendo textbook. But so you have a picture and just use basic Swahili to describe what's in the picture. So I've done this a couple times, and I think I'm getting somewhat comfortable in describing it. So like I said, I've done this a few times. So this is a picture about huyu ni Bwana Ali na yule ni Mama Ali. So Mr. and Mrs. Ali. Bwana Ali pamoja na mke wake na watoto wake katika chumba cha kuzungumzia. Bwana Ali ni Mkenya, anatoka Mombasa. Yeye ni baba na mtu mzima. Amekaa kitini, anasoma gazeti. Bwana Ali na familia yake wanakaa New York. Sasa wanakaa New York. Leo hafanyi kazi, so he's not working today. He has a day off, so he's able to be with his family. So yule ni Mama Ali. Yeye ni muuguzi. Anafanya kazi katika hospitali. Yeye ni mtunzia pia na mwanamke. Yeye ni amekaa chini, anazungumza na mtoto wake. Mtoto wake jina lake Asha. Asha amekaa kitini pia karibu na mama yake. Yeye ni anasoma vitabu. Mvulana jina lake Yuma. Yuma amekaa chini, anasoma vitabu viwili. Yeye ni anakwenda shule, anajifunza Kiswahili, elimu hesabu na sanaa. So I could describe the pictures and what's else in the room. So I'm able to do that now without looking at anything, since I've practiced this a couple times. So this is another thing that I found really helpful in trying to help me to learn to speak earlier, like I said, than I did for Japanese. So just some of the things I've been trying to use to help, and it's been going pretty well so far. So I'm actually enjoying it a lot, and I'm just looking forward to progressing and getting better. So if you've been learning Kiswahili and maybe have some comments or want to tell me what you've been doing, feel free to put those in the comments. And thanks for watching. Maybe be putting up some other videos in the future for my language journey.